Hello, everybody. It's Michael B, and it's Monday. You know what that means. Chill and chat with Michael B. There almost was no show tonight. I see you in the comments, Charlie Chuck, because it's game 7 of the Stanley Cup. I haven't super watched in years just because I got frustrated with it. I usually watch them pop the champagne at the end, but there's a Canadian team in the finals. They have a chance of winning. I wanted to cancel. I thought about it all day, but I was like, I don't want to watch the game because I'll get too pissed off. So here we are, and hopefully the Oilers win. Go Oilers. Anyways, tonight it's going to be an interesting show because we're really at an interesting time right now in this home arcade space. And of course, the leading company in the home arcade space, whether you argue it or not, is Arcade1Up. And there's some really weird stuff happening right now. So tonight, on the show, it's pretty simple. We're asking the question, what is going on with Arcade1Up? So, guys, apparently I have a spelling mistake in my poll, which I just saw. What is the strangest thing going on with Arcade1Up right now? So, if you hadn't had a chance yet, I have put up a poll for you guys to interact with. We're going to come back to it towards the end of the show. What is the strangest, not strangest, thing happening with Arcade1Up right now? John D is currently on their Facebook, their official endorsed Facebook. John D is I think he's a moderator, not an admin, but he's on their Facebook. He's got an AMA in the group chats. He's talking to people. If he's no longer with the company, why is he still so involved with the official Facebook page? What's going on there? Why haven't they kicked him out yet? Of course, after that, we've got the leaked prototypes that came out this week. I was fortunate enough they were sent to me. I got to put a video out. I know my buddy 19K Fox did a video on 720. Moat did a video on the X-Men 6-player cab. Some really interesting stuff that could have happened, but for some reason never came to fruition. So those images got out there. Then, of course, Arcade1Up this past weekend, something happened with their website, and there was a bunch of really aggressive advertisements on their site. Top banner ads that wouldn't go away and sidebar ads. So that was kind of odd. Update on that one first before we do anything else. Let's do a little update on that. And this is probably the biggest one that's kind of a nothing burger, especially now. But the ads are gone off their website. So no longer do we have ads on Arcade1Up's website. Personally, in my opinion, I think this was maybe always a nothing burger. Of course, there were people running to the hills saying, oh my God, they're out of money, so they're putting ads on their website. I think this was just a case of a mistake. It was over the weekend, so there was nobody really on staff to go fix it, or maybe no one even knew about it with the company because it's not like they have anybody there that's scoping out the online community every week trying to figure out what's going on. So maybe they didn't even know, or maybe the IT person couldn't correct it until Monday, but the ads are now down off their website. Bit of a nothing burger. Don't think it was because they were trying to generate revenue, although you can. But I think it was just a mistake. And obviously them being down already indicates that. Or they were trying to generate revenue with the ads and realized that it was really aggressive. And it did, like I said, hamper the user experience. So they took them down. Either way, we don't really need to talk about that one anymore. It's gone. Hopefully, it was just a mistake. We don't see that again. So that's up on the poll for you guys to take a look at. There's also no community interaction, and I do want to talk about that. That's in terms of nobody from Arcade1Up is really talking to the community anymore at all. There's nobody from Arcade1Up on their Facebook page. Like I mentioned, John D's the only person that ever worked at Arcade1Up. Well, Darren's there as well, Darren Kane, but he's really the only person involved with that website in an official capacity or even talks to the community anymore from Arcade1Up, and nobody from the company seems to want to have anything to do with, the community. So it's kind of a strange thing that they're just radio silent at this time, especially when you look at everything else going on, rumors about possible cabs coming out. just no activity on their front. They released Marvel vs. Capcom 2, X-Men. They released Golden Tee. No community involvement with either of those releases. They just straight put them out. So yeah, some weird stuff. So guys, vote on the poll. We'll talk about it a little bit later going on in the show. Anyways, I do want to take a couple minutes, say hello to the people that are here. I see Decadent Dave, Bill's Retro Gaming Show, the Cornercade is here. Nice to see you, Cornercade. Kevin Clausen, good to see you, Kevin. Dan Z, always good to see you. Paul Minderman, supposedly the official account, doesn't even follow our Arcade1Up Facebook anymore. That's wild. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that at some point in the show. That looks much better. Agree. Tim York, Dr. Tongue, Decadent Dave hacked. I think that's a real possibility. Birds and Bees and Trees, good to see you. Are there any good NHL or Olympic Canadian hockey pinball games? I love watching you play World Cup 1994. I don't know if there's a good hockey pinball game, one that I'm familiar with, but there's NHL Center Ice, a 2-on-2 Center Ice arcade game is pretty good. Yeah. Stringer Films, nice to see you. My buddy Stockjuck's here. I saw you asked a question earlier, so I got to catch up with him. Dark Empire, good to see you. Mad Dog, Robot Ron, awesome name, love it. Port a Dream, Media 1-Up, Arcade1Up, 7-Up, it's all connected. That's right. Let's get our tinfoil hats on. Zero Heroes here. They're only worried about TikTok now. That might be true. Managing Chaos. Hey, Managing Chaos, how's it going? Who else we got here? MSU Rich, good to see you. Mad Dog, good to see you too. Papa Brad, nice to see you, Papa Brad. Stephen Myers here. JJ, it's first intermission and the score's tied. Oh, I saw. Yeah. Mikey prefers watching the Winston Cup. I don't think so. Nooner's here. All these leaks. Arcade1Up has serious UTI going on. Tell me about it. Who else we got? Midlife Arcade. Y'all got to stop playing with my emotions. I know, right? Jason, good to see you too. Pixelated Traveler. Birds and Bees and Trees. Hey now. Who else we got? Leo. Charlie Chucko was just talking to you. I know I'm going to lose my Canadian citizenship. Well, are we going to find out, Stockjock, tonight? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Who else we got here? Duggar5150 with the list resurfacing. I still have hope for TNF. I don't know what you're talking about. TNF. What could that possibly be? Dark Empire, let's go Oilers. Darren Kane was here earlier. Hopefully he's still here. That's everybody you can see right now. Let's go back down and see if I missed anybody. If I did, I'm very sorry. Hey, we got a super chat here from my buddy Prince Malcolm. $4.99 super chat. It feels like the radio silence and the Double Dragon license ordeal before the iArcade bankruptcy. Yeah, a lot of people are making those comparisons. I mean, when you're not bringing out new titles or it seems like nothing's going on, that's always going to be the rumor that's out there. I know some other people that are pretty adverse Arcade1Up are saying all kinds of things about them owing money and it's got to be paid by a certain date or something like that. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I do know that they do have some kind of agreement with Costco this year, so there is stuff coming. These two new cabs, if those rumors are true, are going to Costco. So we at least got two new products. We'll have to see. Yeah, Biggie D makes a really good point here. Before we go, Prince Malcolm, thank you very much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Biggie D makes a good comment. They were at Summer Game Fest. I mean, that's a good sign, right? It's not a good sign for the community. I mean, I think at this point, they're probably looking at the return on investment with community and saying, us doing shows and talking to these Facebook people, it's not really worth it. Doing stuff like going to Summer Game Fest, yeah, that's a good sign. That's not a bad sign. Chris Zeke feels like April Fool's Day every day. Thursday Night Football. Thanks, Cornercade. Sandman 1, what's up? Garage Gamer, nice to see you too. David G, David H, got the Davids here. James is here. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Good to see everybody. All right. Excuse me. Cough came out of nowhere. Anyways, let's get started with the show. We already talked about one of the things I wanted to talk about were the website ads. I think that's one of those things, like I talked about, just a mistake over the weekend, something that can happen. I mean, IT guys off, or they got hacked, something along those lines. I don't think they were desperate for money enough to try to put those banner ads in. It would be shocking to think that. I think we can put it to bed, because if they were, the desperation and the community feedback wouldn't have got them to take it down after a weekend. I mean, I don't think they would have been too concerned about that. If they were that desperate for money, the ads would still be there. So I do think it was a mistake. I think we can put that one to bed. I wish. Imagine it was just up for a weekend to get seed money so they could do Robotron Smash TV. I wish. See, Stupid Fat Hobbit, those prototypes look to be from 2021, 2022. If they stood no chance back then to be released when things were hot, and they stand zero chance now when things are cold. There's a good comment to be made there, but I do want to bring up a point that some of the prototypes look like they were back from them. But if you look at the 720 and you look at the Pong cabinet, those are both deluxe cabinets. And I know for a fact the Pong cabinet was what was being thrown around as the possible Atari 50th cab. So I think what we have there are prototype cabs from a couple different generations and probably from a very specific place. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, if these are prototype cabs that have been around since then, why weren't they in the back area of the Florida store? You know what I mean? When we saw like the Sonic cab, the Tapper cab, and the Double Dragon 2 cab. So like there's all kinds of questions then, like if they're prototype cabs from back then, why haven't they been around since then? I think more than anything else, what we're looking at and we're saying, oh, they're prototype cabs from back then. I don't know if they are necessarily prototype cabs in the sense that you're thinking. I think they took just product they had around like Star Wars, Outrun, Sit Down, extra cabs they had there, and they said, let's do something with it and see if we can make it work. What would it be like? So like the Sit Down Outrun became Spy Hunter, Star Wars became Paperboy. I think 720 and Pong are a different breed of prototype, and I think they're further along in the process. So the Smash TV and the Cubert / Tetris were just legacy cabs. So I think there's a difference between Arcade1Up modding an old cab to build a prototype and then them going through the process of doing Pong and 720. That looks like a completely different level of prototype. So I would put Pong and 720 further along in the line than maybe those other cabs. So yeah. The bigger question is, who leaked them? I mean, guys, I'm not gonna reveal my source, but I think it should be pretty obvious. Come on. Anyways, I will tell you, like, I did a video last week talking about the rumors, because that's the other thing that's going around right now. All these rumors about new cabs. So it's weird because we got all kind of negative stuff like the Facebook ads, the prototype leaks, but then we got rumors about new product. And I mean, that was kind of a positive thing. And I was pretty open about that. I mean, that was John D who, mentioned a lot of that stuff in the AMA chat and other conversations about rumors he's heard. So that's where a lot of that stuff came from, right? I didn't say that. Gonna be a banger. I don't know. I have no idea if any of those rumor cabs are coming out this year. Again, the thing about rumors is they don't mean shit. I mean, literally, we had a picture of AVP that was like a production picture that was going out to retailers, but AVP never saw the light of day. So we're at a point where unless somebody gets something with, I don't know, something to validate something like a shipping notice or something like that. As much as people shit on the people that are scoping out like the port information and stuff like that, at least at that point, when the port information comes in, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that a product's coming to market. Anything other than that, like picture of a time crisis in the back of the Florida store or something along those lines, you can't say it's happening. Nothing's happening until really we're at that point where something comes into the ports, till we have some actual stock information or some hard information. Yes, Doug knows rumors are rumors until they become the real thing. That's right. Rumors are just rumors. So like all the stuff we covered last week, the rumors going around in the community, probably will never happen. There's probably no chance they will ever happen. The only thing you can tie them to is other rumors and speculation. And then you think sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Vinny and his henchmen. I don't know about that. I don't know if they owe any money or anything like that. There's some people going around saying them, and there's a large percentage of the community that it's still weird to me. It's like they want them to go under. Like it's fascinating. Like if you don't like a product, like I understand people with personal vendettas and stuff like that, like them, but like there's just people in the community that are just like, I want them to die. But why? If you don't like them, just don't buy them. Like it doesn't impact your life in any other way. But I guess that's the way some people are. If they don't like something, they want to see it burn, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Double Dragon 2 was literally sitting in their Miami location. They weren't hiding it, and well, it didn't come out. Well, I can also tell you they took that one to retailers, same thing again. Seemed like it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. Nothing happened. There was no Double Dragon. No Double Dragon ever came out. So, yeah. But Lang's knows, here's the thing. Rumors are fun. Here's what rumors do. Rumors give us hope because at one point we were a very hopeful home arcade community because there were rumors. There was that speculation. Everybody had that wide-eyed excitement to them like PD7. So like when PD7 sees something about like Punisher now being back with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 collection, he's like, well, there it is, guys. We're going to get Marvel Superheroes Deluxe Cab. What do you think? So, I miss those days. I always miss those days. I mean, we used to go off the craziest stuff and be like, is it possible? Here's what we'd like for them to make. And it feels like we've lost a little bit of that childish wonder that we once had with this company just because times have changed, man. Like, we're just not at that point anymore. So you go back and look at it a couple years ago. I mean, when this stuff first started and it was exciting, it was building. I mean, they were so engaged with the community, whether it was David McIntosh going on shows, John D. I mean, there was always something going on. Someone was connecting with the community. Someone was playing with us, trying to gather information, learn what kind of stuff that the community wanted to see, what kind of stuff they can make for us. And we're just missing that right now. So is what it is. Anyways, that's the leaks. That's the rumors. So, I mean, there's not much to say there. Like, there's some people that are trying to make this like weird tie between the leaks were meant as a way to hurt the company. I don't know how the prototype leaks would hurt the company. I think it's interesting. And I mean, you could take stuff from it. Like, here's the thing, like we know with Fast and the Furious and with Time Crisis, some of the big reasons why they got made in a year where obviously they weren't making a lot of new games was the fact that they had already invested money in it. They'd already done some work to bring in this cab to market. So the prototypes, again, like we said, may never ever happen. Never. But it does show us time in the past where they've worked on things, where they've built their own paperboy handlebar. So going forward, say for example, they do decide to do paperboy, they get a retailer that's interested in it. They've already got that in their back pocket because they've built their own paperboy controller. So we know they can do that. And we also get an idea of what cabs they might and what titles they might already have under license and might have done some initial, software work on and stuff like that. So that's what I take away from those prototypes. I take it as more of a exciting thing, like it could happen, but I understand at the same time there's some bitterness there as well because people are looking at it and being like, Smash TV, that's the cab I wanted. Spy Hunter, that's the cab I wanted. But um, it's tough. Like I could do this show every single week and tell you guys they can't do anything unless the retailers are going to pick it up. But anyways, James hates everything. I had a lot of fun. I got to go on James' show Saturday night. Thank you so much for having me on. Maybe they're meant to show which cabs connect with the community. I think that's a good statement right there because I think the response that you're getting from the community on these prototype videos and how excited they are to see what could have been is a way to show Arcade1Up that maybe these are the cabs that we would have bought. How much? I don't know. I don't know if it's viable, but 100%. What in God's name are you talking? I don't know that one, MG. My God. I don't even know how. Oh yeah, Danny Davis. I am super old now. This is what happens when you work in the not-for-profit sector. Yeah. And you have two kids late in life. Like your facial hair just whoosh, goes white. I look at it before like I go to the barber and get groomed and I feel like Santa Claus, right? Imagination was once present. I don't know if it's so much imagination, but there's a lot to be said. And I see this from people in the community that bring this up. They talk a lot about the people working at Arcade1Up, right? And they talk about who works there, how many people are actually arcade enthusiasts. And I mean, everything we see on screen, we see all these young 20 and 30-year-olds, these nostalgia type people. And it doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence that they have our best interests in mind, or what do they know about arcades that were made in the 80s and 90s when they weren't even alive yet in some circumstances. So it's a little hard. Yes, MG, very much so. Stockjack, good point. I agree. We haven't heard this much talk about Arcade1Up in the last 6 months. I try not to worry about nothing I can't control. Can't control rumors. 100%. That's an amazing. If you've never used a rotary phone to make a phone call, you have no business running an arcade. Agreed. So I don't know, guys. Like it's so tough. But I do want to go back now to Nooner knows. Nostalgia uninspires confidence. Agreed. Agreed. Sure, it's getting us to talk about Arcade1Up, but not in a good way. It's all in disappointment. A lot of it is, Paul. I understand that. I see some of that stuff there. I mean, like you see that 720, and you're like, holy shit, man! Like when I saw that on that league list, I was like, there's no way they're doing it. It has such a unique shape. There's no way they're gonna go through all that. It's gonna be some kind of monstrosity, just in a midway cab or something like that. And then you see what they built, and you're like, holy shit, man! That is really cool for a home arcade recreation. And then there's that sense of dread that, well, we might not to see it. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Houston Amusements coming in hot. $1.99 US super chat. Your best guess. What's the next release? TMNT XL. I wish. I wish. At one point they were considering doing Shredder's Revenge, which was what the Cowabunga collection actually was, from what I hear in the rumor mill. But my best guess, honestly, is Golden Tee XL at Costco. I think they're coming out with a Golden Tee XL at Costco, a new one this year with a BOE monitor. That's the community rumor that keeps coming up, that Costco is going to bring in a Golden Tee. So that's my guess on the next cab. It's not exciting for most people, but for people who missed out on the XL or maybe didn't get the XL Golden Tee because of the issues with the screen, hey, it's a chance for you to get a better version of Golden Tee. So yeah, probably not the exciting answer you were hoping for, but Paul says Golden Tee XL is going to be a hard flop, and that sucks if it's the only XL, because then they'll kill XL. Well, Paul, I mean, having the XL conversation is always kind of tough, because it looks like XL is exclusive to Costco right now. So it does look like it's one a year. But again, I go back to that conversation I had with Cyrus via text when I was talking about the Mortal Kombat, symbol going up on the live. It turned out just to be the Mortal Kombat Classic, but I was like, yeah, people were pretty excited about an XL. And, Cyrus did say, oh, don't worry, lots of XLs coming. So yeah. What did I tell you? I told you guys. Did I stutter? I told you 2024 is the year of Golden Tee. I did not lie. It's sad, but it's true. Yeah, and it's not like Golden Tee's a bad game. It's just it's not my game, right? I have a Golden Tee, and if I didn't have all the other XLs, I would not have my Golden Tee XL anymore. It's the fact now I don't want to split up all of them. You know what I mean? I have them all. I don't want to lose them. It should have been. It should have been, Paul. It should have been. Well, yes, and no. That's true. Towards the end, with the Pac-Man XLs, they did kind of clearing some out. But just going back, I want to go to the talk about the Facebook thing for a bit, because this is really, really strange what's going on with Arcade1Up, their community involvement, and their Facebook page. A huge part of their community strategy a couple years back that actually created a lot of split in the community, created a lot of problem for them, like the way it was handled and stuff like that, was the Facebook page. And what had happened was Glenn had originally started the official Arcade1Up global fan page. That was Glenn's baby, and he worked in tandem with Arcade1Up. They had a falling out, which has been, discussed quite a bit. So Arcade1Up, as part of their marketing and community strategy, decided we need our own Facebook page. Like, what's going on with Glenn? We don't have the level of control and involvement we would like to have, so we're going to get our own. So they went back and they renamed the Arcade1Up modding. I can't remember the name of the original page, but they renamed the modding page that Lewis was running, Lewis Chambers, and they made it the Arcade1Up global fan page, and eventually changed it to the official Arcade1Up fan page. So, anyways, after John D left the company, he remained, a moderator on that page. And this is an officially endorsed, which they've never taken away, an officially endorsed Facebook page that John still sits in and posts, and has an AMA chat where he's telling people rumors he's hearing about potential cabs coming up. And the question really goes with, why haven't Arcade1Up done anything about it? I mean, I guess they can't, because from what I understand, I think John is the only person with any contact with people on the Facebook page. It has Lewis as the admin, and then John and oh my God, how have I forgot his name? Adam Kalb. Adam Kalb as the admin. Sorry, Adam, I shouldn't have forgot that. But, it's John, Adam, and Lewis are the only people there. So they have no contact with him. I don't know if they reached out to Lewis. I don't know if they've tried to do anything. But basically, there's officially endorsed page where the only person from the company is somebody who was no longer with the company there, that's talking to people and communicating with people. And then, of course, also on top of that, I mean, after last year, and maybe some of it's my fault, maybe I wasn't just a good fit, but their community involvement is pretty much gone. They're not doing their Arcade1Up shows. You can, judge yourself on the quality of those shows or the value, but I mean, at least there was some kind of community strategy. They would do updates to tell us about what's going on with the product, different things like that. That was the commitment they made. And they would also do product announcements. We've had 2 new product announcements this year, 2 new products, one of which being the X-Men 97 cab, and then, of course, the Golden Tee Deluxe. And no communication from Arcade1Up other than their official marketing and PR or a TikTok video. So it seems like they've completely given up on the community, and they've completely abandoned their community Facebook page. So it's very, very strange. Oh, hold on, guys. Just one second. Need a little bit more coffee. Look, Sandman says, looks like Arcade1Up has a warehouse full of half-finished cab Gen Z slackers. That's probably what it is. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sandman. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. $5 super chat from Sandman. Kevin Clausen. Pretty soon, the Arcade1Up Facebook is going to redirect to the Media1Up Facebook page. Well, essentially, if they wanted to at some point right now, yeah, I mean, what's stopping John, if he gets Lewis to agree to it, to just change it when John's company launches and goes live, and changes it to the Media1Up Facebook page? And maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe that's what they're doing. But right now, I mean, there's this Facebook page, their number one source of community connection, let's be honest, and nobody is there. From what I understand, somebody wrote me earlier and said every single member of Arcade1Up unfollowed the page. They'll have nothing to do with it, or they don't have anything to do with it. So it's so weird. I mean, one thing I would do if I was Arcade1Up, of course, is I would absolutely make sure I would contact Lewis or anybody else with that group and say, yeah, you need to take down our endorsement, endorsed by tastemakers. Please take that off your page. You're no longer endorsed. I would at least do that, because the fact that there's an AMA with rumors and other things going out there from one of your former employees on an officially endorsed Facebook page does not look good for your company. So if anybody from Arcade1Up ever listens, just reach out to the Facebook page and say, hey, we're pulling the officially endorsed thing. It's not the first time you did it. You did it to Glenn's Facebook page. Maybe try to talk to Glenn and give him the official endorsement back. Maybe that'll do some good in mending bridges, or, helping fix that situation and get out of that other one. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I got a bit of a tickle in my throat tonight for some reason. MG almost looks as bad as advertisements all over your webpage. True that. Yeah. From what I understand, the online features are peer-to-peer, always have been on the Arcade1Up cabs, but I don't know how the leaderboards and stuff work. So, yeah, I don't know how that would work. Yeah. And Garage Gamer with a really good point. Their target demographic probably doesn't use Facebook. No need to sell to the 20 and 30,000 people that are actually buying your product, interested in your product, and going on these sites every day to look at rumors and shit. But we can just, advertise on TikTok. And I do want to talk about that in a little bit while Prince Vinny, maybe Arcade1Up is going out of business. I don't think we're there yet. I just think they have a lot less interesting business than they had in the past. Yeah. Doug Wynn says Arcade1Up used to have live feed videos with Travis. I miss them. Yeah, I miss a lot of things about Arcade1Up. I mean, whatever your opinion is on John D, I mean, at least he was there. At least he did stuff with the community. At least John D was there to answer questions. Like, if we have questions now, there's no communication. There's nothing. Every now and then you might get someone post on one of the Facebook pages that they've heard something from Arcade1Up customer support. From my understanding, Arcade1Up customer support isn't well supported. So I don't know how valuable the information they provide is. So, it's not like they have a knowledge management system there to give them the answers, or supervisors that are, super in the know of all the comings and goings of the company. So I don't know how much value I would put in the communications coming from customer service. So, I mean, somebody, it doesn't have to be Travis. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be somebody from the community, but just figure out some way to do something. Have somebody talk to people. Now, why aren't they doing it? I kind of explained that as well. I mean, everybody was really mean to Cyrus. I mean, everybody started really taking shots at Cyrus, saying that he had no business doing this. He was brought up as a poster boy for people's failures and misgivings from Arcade1Up. So maybe one of the reasons they don't talk to the community anymore is the fact that they don't really see a return on investment, because every time they try to do something, it came back negative. Now, most people were trying to provide constructive criticism that you could do things better, but once you're getting shit slung at you so hard, it's very hard to pick the nuggets of truth away from the nuggets of shit. So, yeah, there you go. Steve V's Man Cave Arcade. I know David McIntosh is still on the Canadian Arcade1Up fan page. He might be there, but he's not very active at all, Stevie, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, Andy's Game Room. That's another person who got the brunt of it as well, Travis. Now, he was a paid employee. He did have a contract with him, but at the same time, I mean, think about how ruthless some people in the community were to all these people that were coming from Arcade1Up. Whether or not they were compensated or something like that, trying to do something with the community, at some point they were probably just like, this isn't worth it. Like, I don't know how much Travis was getting paid, but it probably wasn't enough to justify all the constant shit being said to him. So, yeah. And there we go. Look, see, Cyrus is a joke. Yes, that is a problem. I agree with that, Stock Jock. And that's something that me and Travis used to talk about all the time. It's just, he couldn't say anything. We're used to a level of transparency from like John D in the past that a lot of other companies wouldn't do. Like I was talking to Danny the other night after his show, and he was like, "Man, how come they Shiloh would get on the show and Shiloh just says everything, but then Cyrus can't say anything." There's a big difference between the guy that runs the company, who has absolutely no fear of being fired or having any repercussions against what he said, compared to a paid employee that, is young, maybe not super comfortable in the position he's in. So, yeah, it is your fault, Mr. Living Room. Specifically, you, Mr. Living Room. I've outlined you a couple times. No, I don't know. It's not our fault that they're not talking to the community. I'm saying it's part of it. Well, Kevin, it's easy to say that. I don't know what Travis knows about what's coming up. I mean, that list, like if it was real, that was pretty exciting. So if he was going by that, yeah, 100%. But you got to understand, like, after all this stuff went down with John, we all had meetings with Arcade1Up, and it seemed all really good. They met with us. They told us they were really interested in the community. They wanted to do really, really good things. Like, they were excited about getting back. They had lots of stuff to share. They talked about all this stuff, and we had always heard Arcade1Up didn't want to work with the community. And we always heard that it was just John. John was the only person that wanted to work with the community. So then when all these guys came back and talked about all these good things from inside the community, people up to the CMO, was it the CMO, CTO, other people like that, and they're telling us we want to do cool things, you're like, hey, maybe this is something. Maybe we'll get a chance to help this company explain what people want, and you feel like you can be part of this, like enact change and stuff like that. But after a while, when you realize maybe sometimes how pointless it is, that like it's not really going to happen, yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, we got a $2 super chat from last week's birthday boy, Kevin Clausen. $2 might be equals good. Arcade1Up equals bad. Yeah, I've got into 19K Fox territory here, apparently. I'm sorry, guys. You're looking for John D in the chat. He's been known to frequent this waters. John's been pretty busy this week, don't you think? And thank you for becoming a member, Jay Pace. Greatly appreciated. Welcome to the Game Genie Illuminati. I'm going to change that membership name again. I also am thinking about doing something fun for my members. I don't want to do like a show because that's a little bit hard, but I have this Discord thing. I don't use it that much, but would you guys be interested in doing like some kind of hangout, not online or anything like that, but just a chance to hang out, maybe like a chat through my Discord or something like that? I got to figure it out. But if that's something that you guys would be interested in, yeah, maybe that's something we can do. Maybe we do one night where it's not a show, but it's a chance to just chat and hang out and talk about home arcade, gaming, whatever you want to talk about. Oh, Biggie, I love that 6-player X-Men cab that Moat showed off. Like, I mean, that thing was awesome. Like, friggin' awesome. Like, of course, I mean, looks are one thing, but you would have to see how it plays and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's tough. I love it. Depends on how much it costs. And it's weird because it's something I would really want. I mean, it's a showpiece. It's a showpiece of what you would have in your arcade. It's the kind of thing that you look at, you're like, that is so friggin' cool. So I'm amazed that they even thought about doing it and tried it. I had heard Arcade1Up rumored to have talked about making a bigger cab with a screen that was bigger than 17 inches in the past. Like, if you go back and you watch like all these Arcade1Up shows going back to like 1UP Weekly and stuff like that, if you remember all that stuff, John D did throw out a rumor at one point that they did try to make a cab with a screen that was bigger than 17 inches. And of course, what he was talking about was this X-Men 6-player with the widescreen cab. So I think it's really, really super cool. It depends on the price, how it would play and stuff like that. But yeah, that's one I would probably want. But at the same time, here's the funny thing. As much as everybody's like, oh, that thing is so cool, there are still people that are complaining about the 4-player cabs. The 4-player cabs are too big, but give me the giant X-Men 6-player. So it's a funny conversation. Yes, Vic Vicious, that's what we can call it. We'll have a open Discord chat where everybody can hang out and just talk about shit, and we'll call it Michael B's Slumber Party. I love it. Saw Biggie said that a second. I think it was either a 27 or maybe 32 inch, the screen for the 6-player X-Men. So I don't know. I gotta plug my 360 in because I still have X-Men, the arcade game, on my 360. Did that have a 6-player option? I could watch 19K Fox's video because I think he's got his hooked up with like a PlayStation 3. I have to look at it. Slumber Party Massacre. There it is. Yes, that's what it would. Yeah. And then with an Arcade1Up, that's a great comment. We always make fun of how hard it is to play 4-player games on the Arcade1Up, 4 real dudes playing. Can you imagine how hard it would be to do it with 6 guys at the Arcade1Up all standing around? How big would it have actually been? I would love to see that prototype in person one day just to get a look at it. It looks friggin' phenomenal. Like, I think it looks super cool. I wonder how it would have been to play. Yeah. I know, Frank. I know he ended up selling the cab. I talk to 19K Fox quite often, and I mean, the stuff he's done with his arcade in the last couple of months, I mean, bringing in all the real racing cabs and stuff like that. Fox has got a pretty cool space there. There are a lot of times I do wish I lived in a space where, because where I live on an island, I wish I lived somewhere where that stuff was more accessible. Like I could buy real arcades. Maybe I would have more arcades like Fox. Maybe I would be, more more knowledgeable. Maybe I would have already had real arcades at this point in my house, and maybe I would have kept my Tron after it got broken. Who knows? Kevin Clausen, Mike B equals good. 19K Fox equals bad. $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Kevin Clausen. Ban 19K Fox. I agree. Wonder what happens to those prototypes if they are still in offices, Miami somewhere. Probably in offices. Maybe in offices in California. Because John D, I don't know if John D had prototypes in his office in California. I bet you he did. But I mean, did Arcade1Up get those back? Did they go with John? Because I think he actually owned the building their office was in. That's a great question. I wonder. It's as tall as T2, if that gives you some ideas. Yeah, that's good. How wide is it, though? MG, I'm impressed. We do have the mummers. And because you mentioned that, I've got a funny story for you. So I don't know how old everybody is here, but I don't know if you remember this vintage. Let me see if I can bring up the toy here now. Just one second. You're going to hear a little typing here. All right, let's see if I can find this. So how big can I make this? Because I want to make sure it's big enough. So I want to show you guys this toy. See if you're old enough to remember this. Who here remembers Mask? So when I was young, I can't remember how old I was, like 8 or 9. I remember that Christmas was our big Mask Christmas, and we got all the Mask toys. And one of my favorite toys was this jet, like the bad guy's jet, right? So, anyways, I got this for Christmas. I was so excited. We got everything. We got we were spoiled that Christmas. We got the Rhino. We got the big playset, everything. So, yeah, Mask was awesome. And I got this helicopter. And what broke my heart was I had the Switchblade, and mummers stopped by the house, and they all came in, and they were loud. They were drunk. They were going all over the place. And one of the mummers stepped on my Switchblade and broke it. And I got mad and really mad. And I never ever got my Switchblade replaced. So I had it for exactly one day. I got a Christmas morning a mummer destroyed it Christmas night. And that'll stick with me forever. So when you say we have mummers, I don't want mummers because they broke my goddamn switchblade. Yes, I had Boulder Hill. If I can find it later, there's a awesome picture of my brother in front of all my mask toys with a Teddy Ruxpin toy. So if I can find it, I'll show you guys that. But anyways, yeah, my mask switchblade got broke because of mummers. So mummers are not my friends. What are mummers? Oh, that's a really good question too. I don't know if you guys know that. If you don't know, mummers are people who dress up in like basically sheets and pillowcases over their head. Uh, so this is what they do. So here, let's see if I can find a good image. So yeah. Oh, I don't want to see a video. Why are you doing that? You're trying to get me canceled here. So, anyways, here's mummers. I'm gonna open image in new tab. This is what P-Dubs gets mad at me for. So this is mummering, basically. So they dress up in what's called like bummer's farce, like all this hilarious clothes. And then they put like bags over their head because you're not allowed to tell people who you are when you're mummering. And then they go around door to door and come in and ask you for drinks and party in your house. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's basically the purge. Newfoundland has a purge where these mummers come to your house, come in and take your booze, and then step on your mask toys. That's what happens. Yeah, so we have the purge here in Newfoundland. That's what mummers are. Oh, that's horrible, guys. Texas Chainsaw Mummers. Yeah. So that's mummering. That's my childhood nightmare. The mummers came and stepped on my switchblade. Anyways, guys, it's all just really frustrating at this point. I mean, we don't know what's going on with Arcade1Up. All kinds of weird things are happening. There doesn't seem to be any new releases. Nobody's telling us anything. It would just be nice to see something. Something like back in the days when John D was there. Somebody to talk to us. And I mean, even if it was as simple as somebody communicating on Facebook or putting up a post, I don't know, Arcade1Up, use your Twitter, which you stopped using for the last like 9 months. By the way, check that out too. If you haven't seen this, Arcade1Up basically don't use their Twitter anymore. Now, a lot of people are doing this too, and I understand this is something to do with politics. People have made their political decision, but yeah, maybe something's different. But let me see if I can just bring this up. I mean, yeah, it's not even coming up. Like, if you go to the official Arcade1Up Twitter page, yeah, last post they put up was December 14th, 2023. So right now, no communication on Facebook, no communication on X Twitter. Not everybody does because, politics, they don't like it since Uncle Elon took over, whatever the reason. Arcade1Up's, basically silent there. So the only two forms of social media they really communicate on right now is on, well, they have their own official Facebook page that they still use. But like, I mean, it's just all marketing type stuff, TikTok and Instagram. That's it. So they're not doing anything on Twitter anymore either. So yeah, if you follow them on Twitter, you can tell me, I don't know, maybe after maybe someone was let go from the company and they forgot their Twitter password so they can no longer get in there. I don't know. I thought Twitter was for porn. It sure is. It sure is. Arcade1Up does Insta Weekly with pics, videos of millennials with blue hair wearing bell bottoms playing Pac-Man countercades. There is something to be said about that maybe Arcade1Up just isn't interested in the community anymore. Someone said it earlier here, because we're not their target demographic. Maybe they're trying to attract a younger audience. I mean, I look at what Arcade1Up is doing right now. Their focus, like, let's just go to their Instagram for a second and just look at this, right? I should have had this up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the worst. I know. But all right. I gotta find them first. Yeah, there they are right away. The first one that comes up. Now they've been kind enough actually to reshare on their feeds or stories my game room in the last little while, and it's crazy because originally, remember when they used to do that game room of the week and stuff like that? Like I sent them so many pictures to that contest. I was like, please share my game room. I was so excited, and I never ever got anything from them. So I was pretty excited and caught off guard this past couple of weeks when I shared the image of me bringing back the Genie Cade, what I was doing with that. Then, things changed again. That went back to being storage, and I got a much, well, different room. It's bigger in the sense that it's wider, but it's not going to hold more cabs lengthwise. It's the same length, but just bigger, and there's no stuff stored anywhere. So a much cleaner space. I shared that image. They shared that as well. So I was pretty happy with that. Anyways, so we'll go to their reels here, and this seems to be the big focus with Arcade1Up in the last little while. They're posting stuff like this, and POV, your game nights just leveled up. Infinity Game Table seems to be a big thing they're focused on right now. That's one they're really trying to sell. Why can I? Oh yeah, that's because I'm in the wrong place. Then you've got this girl here playing like Pac-Man. She goes on the Pac-Man cab, then picks the worst game. Well, it's not the worst, but she picks Rompers. You can tell she's never played Rompers a day in her life. Doesn't walk over a single wall. It goes right into one of the enemies. Like, why? Why pretend? I guess it's for marketing, but anyways, I saw that one. This one I was okay with, playing X-Men with my friends. Like, made me nostalgic the other night for my X-Men cab. That's why the other night when I turned on my At Games Legends Ultimate, I was going to get a game of X-Men in, but this one was okay. There's nothing wrong with this one. I think this is one showing off the Arcade1Up app. Yeah. So anyways, there's a reason why I'm showing these, because I think the focus is on right now. They're trying to advertise their product that is already there. It's already out there to a new audience. I think they've already sold as much as they're going to sell of the stuff that's currently available to us. So they're trying to interest new people into it, grow their brand. You can't blame a company for that. So I don't know what the answer is, but it just feels like, I don't know, we're a little bit left behind. And I don't mean to be what? They blocked you on Instagram. Get out of town, Paul. I don't believe you. How rude were you being? I need to know more about this now. You got to tell me. And here, of course, is the stuff from Summer Game Fest. This was a positive. I mean, there was no new games or anything like that to show, but at least they were doing something. This guy here, an interesting dude. Anyways, I thought this was well done. I thought this was exciting to see them at Summer Game Fest. So good on Arcade1Up for that one. Anyways, just a really weird time. And I saw my buddy Steve V here earlier. And I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I've talked about the Arcade1Up fan page. And like, we have a group chat out of that. And we talk all the time. And it's really weird, not just there, but in other communities too, seeing people that were diehard Arcade1Up fans have collections, arcades in their basement that they really like and were really interested in, starting to lose interest now because of the lack of communication, the lack of direction, all that stuff. So it would be amazing if, Arcade1Up told us something. I mean, obviously, we know you can't come out and tell us every game you have coming out or anything like that, but even just a quick message somewhere, something, give us something and say, hey guys, expect an announcement coming up in September. But maybe they don't even have the flexibility to do that now. I don't know how. I don't know how they would do that, but yeah. Steve V's Man Cave Arcade. Go check him out. Nice guy, YouTuber himself. Go check him out. If you think they have reached the quota that think they will sell with Marvel vs. Capcom Collection coming, do you think there will be a mass liquidation sale of cabs coming in 2024? No. I said this the other night when I was on Cornercades, and I'm just going to be very honest with you. Part of the reason that we saw all those liquidations in the past was the fact that part of Arcade1Up's retail strategy was offering retailers the ability to buy back. And if I understand this correctly, so the way that works is, say for example, I'm a retailer, I'm going to buy 5,000 X-Men cabs. But I have the option that if I don't think they're selling in fast enough, I can liquidate them at X amount of price, and Arcade1Up will give me back the difference between what I liquidated them at and what I thought I could sell them at, whether that be the MSRP or an amount under that. So, say for example, on Walmart, I just liquidated 2,000 Arcade1Up X-Men cabs at 30% of what the retail price was. Then on Walmart, I go back to Arcade1Up and I ask for a check for the difference of what I thought I could make compared to what I actually made from the liquidation. The problem is Arcade1Up isn't doing that now. I know the sales are few and far between, the big sales, and I think the days of us seeing these on liquidation, other than like a liquidating house picking them up like Ollie's or something like that, I think the liquidating days are done. I think that unless, something drastic changes, the liquidation days are done. So yeah, I mean, I've been very happy with the sales this past year. While I haven't been able to get anything new, and I haven't had a lot of excitement for new stuff coming out, I mean, I got some of my space back. I moved my 4 XL cabs downstairs with my pinball machine, and I've managed to repick up 2 cabs and then add 2 of the deluxe cabs, and I got them all on sale. I got Terminator 2 for 4.99 Canadian, which originally sold at like 8.49 Canadian. So I saved $350 on T2, added T2 back to my collection. One of my daughter's favorite games. I ended up getting Dragon's Lair for $5.99. That was originally $7.99. So I added one of the special cabs back while I still could. And I love Dragon's Lair. That's honestly, this is going to probably sound weird. That's the first game I go to now when I go down in the arcade. Also got Street Fighter 2 Deluxe and the Mortal Kombat Deluxe. Great variety of games on those, and those are cabs that were stalwarts in my collection for years. Of course, I got many, many versions of them, but now I got both of those for around that $500 Canadian mark. So, yeah, I am really happy with what I got for how much I paid for it this past year. So, while there hasn't been anything new and exciting, I'm still happy with the deals I got on some older stuff. There you go. Yeah. Simpsons, man. At one point, Simpsons was selling here in Canada for $3.99. Uh, yes, in Canada, we call it Arcade1Up. Yes, correct. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I don't really have a lot more to say than that. I want to go back to the poll that I had up earlier. What's the strangest thing happening with Arcade1Up right now? And honestly, the strangest thing that you guys think is happening right now seems to be the leaked prototypes at 33%. And I guess it's, again, going back to what Paul said earlier, it's the fact that, so many people are like, why didn't they come out with these games? I would have 100% bought a Paperboy. That 720 looks incredible. The X-Men 6-player is a dream. All that stuff, everybody's saying that, you think about what could have been. Hopefully, all this like negativity and weirdness and stuff goes away in a couple of weeks, and we get the announcement of what's coming to Costco, and it's better than we imagined. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Um, John D on their Facebook is third with 27%. No community action interaction, 29%. And website ads this past weekend. Again, I agree with it. It's already gone. More of a nothing burger. I wouldn't read too much into it. The big ones are that it's still their official Facebook page, and yet it's not their Facebook page, if you know what I mean. So I think they should probably take some action on that. At least take away their official endorsement. That's what I mean. If I was a company, I 100% would have done that already. No community interaction. Doesn't even have to be anything. I will say this, and this is probably going to get a lot of flack, and I'm not trying to gatekeep anybody else. Just do your own stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a YouTuber from the community or anything like that. Just make your own posts. How Cyrus did those stupid videos over Christmas where he was standing up with the really bad audio. Don't do that, but do something better than that. Just like Cyrus with like a quick message on your Facebook page or something like that to say, hey guys, just wanted to let you know, we've got new releases coming up in September. Keep your eyes peeled for these retailers. Cyrus out. That's all you got to do. Like, even that from the community involvement page would be nice. Not even a video, just do some posts. Do some posts somewhere where people can interact with you. Tell us something. Give us something to hope about. So there's that. And yeah, that's everything, guys. Knowing his power, I have been following you. I'm sorry I haven't brought more up. It seems they are concentrating on core titles. Given that sales have increased, they might have chosen to disregard us. Yeah, that's possible too. I mean, again, I will go back to the fact that every time they interact with the community, they get shit on. So, they are hearing this negativity around X-Men 97, hearing this negativity around, Golden Tee releases, too many of them. And they're like, the community doesn't know what they're talking about. We're selling them. We're making money. We don't care. So, yeah, you might be right. No more secret keeping for 1UP. Let the Zoomers keep them in business. Yeah. And 1,000,000%, I would love to see them do some kind of direct-to-consumer model. Always not necessarily just a direct-to-consumer, but even crowdfunding. If they figured out some way to do crowdfunding, that would just be the best. But yeah, Kevin Clausen, I don't know if it's time to watch the Oilers because, again, I really don't want to jinx it. It's been 31 years since a Canadian team won the cup, and I'm trying not to get too hopeful because I've had a lot of heartbreak over the years. I mean, I got to watch the Calgary Flames win the cup in 06, and then everybody pretend like it just didn't happen. They scored in overtime to win, and then the game just kept happening. So, yeah, I'm trying not to get my hope up too bad. Yeah, they're hearing negativity around not releasing new cabinets. Let's do something. That's one of the other rumors that they're courting a buyout, showing what they can do. I don't know. I think like we do it as YouTubers, the community does it. We all want to come up with our own explanations and reasons, but at the end of the day, you don't know until you know, right? So, yeah. They should just release a pre-recorded Q&A video. That way they can be selective about what they choose to answer. Yeah, not even a Q&A video. Well, yeah, they could be like, hey, we took some community questions. Here's the answers. I think they'll be very similar to the answers I got when I was doing the show with Cyrus, but who knows? Maybe it'll be different. Yeah. Well, in my opinion, 100% they should, Sandman. Arcade1Up should be interacting with the community, learning what the community wants. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this doesn't sound good. The Oilers are down 78-86 in the bottom of the eighth. Not good. God, no. The Mummers have already taken so much from me. Don't take Arcade1Up. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end the poll now. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and communicating on this. What's going on with Arcade1Up? Who the hell knows? They're not talking to us right now. But hopefully, September's just around the corner. Apparently, there's new cabs coming into Costco. Hopefully, business is about to pick up with Arcade1Up. And maybe we'll get some new shit. The rumors were exciting last week. The prototype leaks were exciting and disappointing for some. Hopefully something cool happens in the relatively near future. And more than anything else, hopefully those ads never show up on their website again because they were terrible. I don't mind what ads on a website, even up in the banner. But when you can't click them away to look at the product below them, that's a problem. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully next week we'll have a lot more positive shit to talk about. Oh, one other thing. If you guys, watch me for more than just my Arcade1Up videos and stuff like that, I did a video earlier today on a new game coming out on June 27th called Neo Sprint. Released the video. Thank you so much, everybody who watched it. Other people are saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I accidentally jumped the gun on embargo. Well, not really. What had happened was the original embargo was, as soon as you get your code, you're good to go. And that was like a week ago. So I thought I was behind. So I was like, I got to get caught up, make this video for Atari on Neo Sprint. And then I released it and they wrote me and they were like, oh no, we sent you a second email. Embargo was changed now to June 27th. Can you please take the video down? So the video's temporarily down, but we'll be back up this Thursday, June 27th. Check out me playing Neo Sprint from Atari. It's actually really fun, guys. Like for Sprint, good timing too with the Super Sprint cab coming out from Buy Stuff Store and the excitement around that. And now I actually got to talk to Buy Stuff Store and see if Buy Stuff's 360 wheel works with Steam. Maybe there's some way that I can play Neo Sprint with their 360 wheel on my computer. How cool would that be? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Everybody have a wonderful night. Go Oilers! This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.